Hey, Drew. Just looking back at the game on Sunday, obviously connecting with KJ and Jerry, and then you look at up front, you had so many young guys. Do you feel like the offense maybe grew up a little bit on Sunday against the Panthers, and yourself included?
I think we just keep getting a little better every week. I wouldn't necessarily say we grew up and we've arrived and we've came to. We played a great game. We made the plays when they came to us, but our focus is just keep getting a little better every single week, fixing the things that we did wrong in weeks before, and that's kind of what we went out there and did in that last one. Made the plays when last week they would have been mistakes, and corrected a lot of things that we thought we needed to get done to be a good football team and go up there and win. And we just put together a good game.
Are you on the line?
Yeah, I got you. Hey, I didn't hear the cue. Drew, thanks for joining us today. Drew, your two amazing performances, the one at Houston and then this last one, there was a common thread of 15 to 17 passes completed in each game of less than 5 yards in the air. In other words, the short game. Is that a blueprint you guys see, especially with that bigger personnel, to where, you throttle down and then when the straightaway opens, it looked like you were ready for the big strike?
Yeah. I think it's just having the mindset of taking the shots when they're there, but not forcing them. I did that a little bit in previous games, and it caused us to have to come off the field. We need to stay on the field as long as possible because, when we do, we end up making those plays that keep us going and keep the drives alive, and that helps us get points. And that starts with me taking care of the ball and realizing when those shots are there or realizing when I need to check it down. And I feel like we did a good job of finding some of the check downs, but then at the same time, you needed to be ready for our shots because if you obviously weren't ready for it, we were going to hit a big one. So it's just about being balanced and taking what they give me. And that's again, what I'm going in with this week is when the shots are there, we're going to take it. I'm not afraid to throw those, but when they're not, let's just check it down and make the smart play.
Next one, Brian Christoph.
Drew, Vic was just talking about continuity, guys like Breeze and Sean Payton and Patrick 4 years in a row with Andy. I think you've had 6 different coordinators in 7 years going back to high school. So how nice will it be, assuming Pat and hopefully Mike are back for you?
Yeah, that'd be awesome. It'd be my first comforting feeling since my sophomore year of college, being able to have Josh Heupel back-to-back years. And he's one of the more inspirational guys to me in my football career, and it's probably because I ended up having more than 1 year in my life. It's nice to have somebody that you're familiar with, that you feel like you have continuity with, and that he knows you, and in your heart that him as a play caller. How they're going to coach, what they expect, and it's just make me feel comfortable. I think it'll make everybody feel comfortable, not only myself. It's obviously important for the quarterback to feel comfortable, but as a quarterback, you want everyone else around you comfortable. And I feel like having the same play caller in this organization for more than 1 year would be huge for us.
Next one, Eric DeLaw.
Yeah, Drew, to follow up on that, are there things that you feel more comfortable with now at this point of the year compared to week 1, week 2, or when you first came back from an injury? And kind of what do you think the downside was of not having those preseason games?
The downside of not having those preseason games is just it's simple. You miss the reps with the guys that you need, reps that you didn't really necessarily get in training camp because you're going to go against their defense and you're going against the stuff that they want to run. And we're trying to run the stuff that we might want to run during the year, but at the same time, you want to be successful in practice. So you got to run some things that might beat them that you might see in the year. It was just about being able to go out and compete against another team, and we obviously didn't get that until game 1. So that was, that's something that we had to struggle with there at the beginning. There were plays to be made. We just weren't necessarily on the same page all the time. But we keep making strides every single week, and that's our goal. That's our goal. It starts in practice, starts in extra walkthroughs, meetings. It's just all about taking your job extremely serious and focusing on the details.
Next one, Jeff.
Drew, Peyton used to say, all quarterbacks kind of know what it's like to have the job for each guy. And I just wondering if you think you can take anything away from Josh Allen went from a 52% passer as a rookie to what he's doing this year, that kind of progression.
Yeah, I feel like it's patience with him. Obviously, he struggled a little bit when he got into the league as far as completion percentage goes, but he figured it out. He learned, kept growing, kept realizing what looks he wanted for certain plays, and it's just, he has the experience. He's played in it. He's struggled in it, and when you struggle in it, you end up learning. You end up thriving, and that's why he's playing extremely good ball right now. It's football that, I want to end up eventually getting to and playing like. There's a little sign of it last week, but it's all about making progress, keep making little steps forward. But yes, he is progressing, and it's fun to watch him because I know him, and he's a great guy. Loved being around him when I was around him, so happy for his success. But hopefully we can stop it here this Sunday.
How do you know him? Just from the recruiting trails?
Creating, out in California for the draft process. He came back after his draft process and still worked with the same guy out there. And, we got to be involved through every single day together. Got to talk to him and Sam and Kyle Allen. And I was also with Jarrett and Tyree Jackson. So it was fun. It was fun. I got to know him, and he's a great guy. He's a competitor in everything he does, not only football. So I think that's another thing that really helps him out. He wants to win extremely bad.
Guys, we got time for a few more. Next one.
Hey, Drew, I got a couple for you. First off, can you just speak to the challenge of Buffalo's defense? Very opportunistic, terrific cornerback play. Can you speak to that challenge? And then I got another one for you.
Yeah, every position you look on their defense it's a very talented, very skilled player. They're not going to give it to you easy. You're going to have to put drives together. It's going to have to be a battle up and down the field for 4 quarters. And you can't take anything for granted with this defense. You got to be ready to go. You got to know your assignment. You got to know where your possible problems are at all time, because you never really know what they're going to bring. They're going to change things up. But at the same time, they're going to make you drive the field. And they could heat you up. It's just a very sound defense, likes to bring a lot of different things and, try to get you to force the ball to them.
Great. Secondly, Justin Simmons seems like on the outside, seems like a really humble guy. I'm wondering, from your perspective, what kind of a teammate is Justin?
Oh, I'm one of the best. I think whatever you feel that he portrays outside, he portrays in here. He's not a guy that is a two-faced type person, one in the public, one in the media, and then, one in the locker room. He carries himself with a lot of respect. He carries himself as a leader of this team, and he realizes that if you're going to be a leader of an organization like this, it doesn't only happen in the locker room, it happens outside the football field and how people see you as a person and a human, and he's one of the best humans I've ever met.
Next one, Zach.
Hey, Drew, you said that John Elway, Brett Rippon, Shula, and Shermer have been preaching to you for the past couple of weeks about taking what's there and not forcing anything downfield. Why did that all fully click on Sunday?
Shoot, that's a great question. Probably just that week of practice. I keep going back to practice. It was big emphasis for me. It was a big emphasis in my prep, looking at the plays we had, the certain formations we had, the certain defenses they like to play against them. Just being ready to not force anything. I was tired of, trying to force these balls downfield, incompletes, or sometimes the interception to where it put us in a bad spot, maybe a 2nd and long, maybe a 3rd and long, or off the field. It was all about, in my head, just positive plays throughout the game. And if I could produce a positive play and help us gain yards, then that's what I was going to do. I was going to take what they gave me, and that was just me doing my job, do my job at a high level. And I kept preaching that to myself all week. And if that meant I needed to check it down for a couple yards, then that's what it meant. It's something that I need to, keep practicing, keep getting better at. But I feel like, I made a stride in that this week, and hopefully we can keep playing like that.
Final 2, Kyle, then we'll go to George Radney from the Buffalo Media Group. Go ahead, Kyle.
Drew, 2 quick ones for you. You mentioned Buffalo's sound defense. TreDavious White, is he a guy you need to be aware of on every snap and be a little more conservative in targeting him? Or, if you said, like you said, if you get your shot, you're going to take it even if White's in coverage?
I played him when he was at LSU. He was somebody we watched and made sure we knew where he was at all time on the field. It's going to be the same thing here. extremely talented corner. But it's not going to be something that scares you off of a throw or scares you off of a matchup. If my read takes me to him and I need to throw the ball, there will be no second guess about throwing it. And this is the NFL. We have really good players too, and it's about making competitive plays up and down the field. And sometimes he makes it a little more competitive than others, but that's what the game is. He's a really good corner, and if we just try to avoid him all game, that makes us pretty one-dimensional. So I don't think how that would help us at all by trying to avoid it.
And after the game against the Panthers, you mentioned Nick Vannett, and obviously you're not surprised by his performance because you see it in practice every day. What else can we see out of him in the passing game? I know Fant's obviously the number one option there, but what else is more to be desired there from him?
I think what Nick does a good job is just feel and seeing the field. Being able to find space, make it easy for a quarterback. He feels things. He knows where the open spot is. He knows the defense well to where it just makes it easy for me. Doesn't cover himself. Like I said, finds the open spot, settles down when he needs to, just let me bang it on him. He understands that, he's not going to go out there and run a 9-ball. Like, that's just not what he does. He's a heavy block guy that, can run it, like, for us, intermediate routes, some quick game routes, and then here and there, press it down the field. So he realizes that space is a big thing for him. He needs to know where the open spots are and how to feel defenders, and he does a great job of that.
Final one, George.
Yes, Drew, George Rednick, Challenger Community News, Buffalo, New York. Question for you. For a young quarterback like yourself, has the game slowed down for you yet? Or is
it's always, there's always going to be people moving fast. But like you said, the game will eventually slow down. And the past couple games, just with feeling comfortable in my prep, feeling comfortable with, the practices that we're putting together, it is starting to slow down. I'm starting to see it better. I start to feel better when I go out there. I'm not saying I'm fully there by any means. There's still a lot of work that I need to do, but I'm starting to feel better each week going into it. And after this week of practice going into Saturday, hopefully we can go back out there and, that progress still keeps making strides. The game's slowing down, knowing what to expect after just a good week of practice and a good week of prepping for this week.